Hello. Today, this is going to be a, chill video. You can, relax to it. You can just enjoy the ride. I'd be surprised if you make it till the end. But if you do, please consider subscribing because this is my, non-boring content. A lot of it is coins,
Did you say it's non-boring content?
Yeah, most of my content is not boring.
So this is boring content.
Because I'm counting money for the next hour.
I thought you just said it was non-boring content.
My other content is non-boring.
Okay.
Okay, this is my money bag. We had sushi 3 months ago. That's where I keep it now. In the 3-month-old sushi bag. Let's listen to this.
It's Jinx.
I swear to God, if I lose count.
Are you gonna really count every single penny?
Yeah. I need my mental stability back.
Why don't you start by separating it? Is that what you're doing?
No.
You're not gonna count pennies first?
I'm gonna probably do that first.
Or quarters or something?
I'm gonna go with the coins first.
It ain't that bad.
It ain't that bad.
Ooh! It's a wheat penny!
You wanna steal?
It's special. Let's see what year it is. It is... I can't see. I need some kind of special vision. What does that say? Is it 1960? What does that say?
1942.
Oh, that's a good one. Hold on to it.
You can keep it.
Oh, okay. I'll keep it for you. How about that?
Yeah, so I don't accidentally spend it.
Yeah, that's a good one, buddy. It might be worth something. We'll have to look. Always look at your coins. They could be worth millions, and you never know. Like, if it's a double printed, 2 sides, the same head on each side, or a tail on each side, that's worth money. Like any kind of a misprint. Nobody wants to look at your foot. Except for weirdos. Get your foot out of there.
Yeah. Look at my foot. Look at my foot. Look at my foot. Come on.
Kane!
Smell it through the screen. Here, I'll flash it. I'm kidding.
So much no. Count your money.
Okay. Oh my God! An ad! An ad!
Kane! Count your money.
There's an ad on my video. It's Nirvana Incesticide, but with the Super Mario sound front.
It's ridiculous.
People spend time making that.
Okay? You're spending time doing this. Everyone's insane.
You know what's funny? I have all all these coins that I'm gonna spend an hour and a half counting for it to be like $1.50.
No.
These
You
pennies.
definitely have more. Oh, the pennies, maybe. Start doing it. It's gonna take you all night if you don't start.
I'm just gonna put them in separate groups. Stay on your other side, just like the Mexican. Do you know how much controversial stuff I've said on my channel? Like, stay on your side, Mexicans. No, I never said that except for now. But seriously, stay on your side. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You can stay in America unless you're a hypocrite. Unless you're a dummy that doesn't do your work. Americans do their work.
Yeah, half Americans don't do their work. What do you mean?
I'm kidding. Donald Trump's just racist.
Nah, he just knows what Republicans want.
Which is racism. Mom, am I an ugly rodent? Mom, am I an ugly rodent?
No.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
Also, if this video becomes famous and you get one of my coins, that's now worth $13 million. Guys, I am the master of Bashan.
African-American senator from Illinois is sworn into office as the 44th president of the United States. Mr. Lincoln is amazing things are coming from someone who was born present, who has not read this, not as quite maybe functional literacy as well, but essentially has no access to television, no access to movies. This is coming out of her interior.
Is this music entertaining? Mom, is this music?
No, it's not.
It's not?
Well, it's annoying me because I'm trying to watch TV. I can't hear it.
You're like... I've officially been a son.
There is an oracle inhabit that obtains contact with other worlds of knowledge as a source of that information. This includes entities like Michel de Nostradamus, better known as Nostradamus, who published a seminal book, The Prophecies, in 1555 AD. Biographers claim that he predicted numerous future events, including the Great London Fire of 1666,
Mom.
the rise of
Mom.
Adolf Hitler, and even the Iranian Revolution of 1979. Nostradamus has been often shown as a man with a he did do that very much. His main use is tapping into the divine source.
How much money have you counted?
I don't know. This much. We'll be here for days.
Concept behind one thing.
You'll have to listen to this forever.
Maybe ultimately is there. It's that our brains are not evolved yet to see the information. So there have been mystics, and there have been prophets, and there have been philosophers who are able to either meditation, observation, or whatever their medium is to get to that place of information, and have been able to access something deeper.
I'm res revolting.
Like Baba Vanga, Nostradamus, and others are able to access an unseen cloud of information and their prophecies. Might this realm have also been tapped by some of history's most brilliant minds?
Is this nice?
Perhaps further clues can be found by examining the shocking statements made by one of the greatest visionaries of
I
the 20th century.
I shat in a shatter. No, my shatter. I shattered my.
Let's do home court explorer.
I love Twinkies. I love singers.
That is stupid.
I said that on YouTube. But the entire thing.
Why would you do that?
I'm kidding, I didn't. You're gullible.
I wouldn't put anything ridiculous past you.
But doesn't change the fact that you're gullible. Like, bad gullible.
I wouldn't put anything past you.
Like, genuinely concerning gullible.
Like no comfort for me. I could think about all the money you could make in one of them marathons.
You believe me when I told you I needed you to back the car out of the driveway, and I was gonna close the garage door.
In the inside, I didn't believe you.
Mhm. You're like, I can't drive.
Because I was playing along.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I like boobies.
Don't change the subject.
I like big boobies. They make me want to go, wee-wah, wee-wah. Big boobies make me want to go, wee-wah, wee-wah.
Hey, count your money. I'm gonna turn that annoying music off. I'm gonna turn it off soon, so you better hurry up.
You can watch this upstairs.
No, I'm going to bed.
You can go to bed upstairs with Dad.
No,
And the insects.
I'm not a fan of bed bugs.
You can go sleep with the insects.
Nope. As soon as he can sleep in bed with the lights off, then I will join him. I don't sleep with the lights on. Can you move this away from me, please? Thank you. I can't stand it. Alright, give me it. Give me it.
No.
Give it here.
Mom, what did I ever do to you?
Here, I'll give you snacks if you turn it off.
You have the radio being developed by both Nikola Tesla.
Quiet. It's my. I'm going to sleep.
Give me this entire thing. Oh, now we got a friend. My only friend that I've ever had.
Marshmallow likes snacks. Marshmallow.
The hell? Hey! Don't call me Marshmallow, you witch!
Meatball likes snacks. You want some snacks, Meatball?
I'm not that big. I'm not that big.
That's nudity. Put your shirt down.
More recently, a revolutionary discovery was made by two scientists.
Oh, why do you call me Meatball?
Like a little meatball.
They came up with
Hey, can anybody hire an assassin?
Yeah, I think.
Can somebody hire an assassin for my mom?
I knew you were thinking about that. That's messed up. Don't do
I'm
that.
kidding. Jesus. I love big. Shimmy, 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 fa la la la.
Hey, stop disrespecting little dirty bastard. That is not how it goes.
No, I'm disrespecting Arabs. Shimmy, 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 shimmy,
Okay, stop. Count your money.
are not evolved yet to see the information. Now, not everybody is on the same wavelength. Not everybody's evolved at the same rate. That's also true. So there are people throughout history that could access that.
I love being controversial.
Controversial.
Has been documented all the way
Controversial.
Renaissance and Reformation. Things like the discovery of the telescope, the identification of the colors in the rainbow, the identification of basic chemistry.
I'm about to say something very controversial.
Don't.
Scientists try
The worst race is
people have a certain level of technology at a certain time and they have
Neanderthals.
to be able to make breakthroughs. That
Huh?
doesn't explain
The worst
why
race
it
is
happens
the
so
Neanderthals.
that in many cases it's literally simultaneous.
You know, the race of people that from before everyone.
Introducing ideas into this information
You don't know what a Neanderthal is?
sort of as if
No.
something has been uploaded
I guess you're a part of whatever the worst race is then, huh?
I'm not. The hell? My mom just called me black.
You better. I hope that's not live. I really hope it's not.
It's not.
Then you better turn it off and not make this a video. Besides, I can tell you're tired.
I'm cutting it. I'll cut it out.
You hear me?
Yeah.
You might want to put your glasses on.
In his autobiography, Tesla talked about the day that he had the revelation of how to harness alternating current.
Alright, let's count some more monies.
But he said that he felt that he could detect light in his forehead and that he was able to receive information from other sources and that this other source entity.
But mom, what is a Neanderthal goo-goo?
I guess you're gonna have to Google it and learn something.
Am I a Neanderthal?
No. They're not alive anymore.
Is that a good thing?
So he doesn't believe that
Uh-huh.
dreams or inner visions. He really felt
Talk to me about it.
uh,
I want to learn about the Neanderthals.
I'm watching this.
Tell me about
We evolved from them. Supposedly, I mean, I think that aliens came and seeded us, and that's how we evolved. But according to Darwin,
Trump is a Neanderthal.
yeah, there's some of them left.
Is Trump one?
No, they kind of have like this real big like brow. It's like they almost look like.
could the nature of genius.
No, I can't show you with my phone because you're using it.
Otherworldly realm of
You
knowledge.
can use my phone.
No, you can Google it.
Okay.
Information contained within this field was uploaded by extraterrestrials, as ancient astronaut theorists
I can't believe you didn't learn that in school yet.
Does this suggest
Neanderthals? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the teachers will get called racist
No,
if they talk about it.
no, you're gonna have to learn about it. It's just so weird that you haven't. I guess.
I'll Google if it's like a thing you learn in school.
It is a thing you learn in school.
No, I'm just gonna Google it because they might have changed the rules, and then we don't.
No, they didn't change the rules. You're gonna learn about them. I just don't know what grade.
Shimmy, shimmy, a shimmy, a shimmy, ah. Fa la la. Fa la la. Fa la la. Shimmy, shimmy, a shimmy, a shimmy, ah. Fa la la la. Fa la la la. Look at my beautiful hands. All over you. Come on, weirdo perverts. Think about my hands all over you.
Alright, I'm taking that. You're not.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, and that's not anything funny to kid about. Because you know that there's some perverts watching this that are going to end up burning in hell forever. Don't tease them, you know? You don't want to be part of their ticket to hell. Their little meatball ticket to hell.
Meatball ticket to hell. What does that even mean? The meatball ticket to hell. What the hell?
Put it together.
Meatball ticket to hell. I don't know what that means. Tell me what that means.
You're a meatball ticket to hell.
What the hell? Meatball ticket to hell.
For them.
Why do you keep calling me a meatball?
Because you're cute.
Guys, leave a comment. That was a primal scream.
Among the hundreds of thousands of future readings given by the blind prophet during her lifetime,
Leave a comment down below if you think, leave a comment down below if you think that my mom should keep calling me a meatball.
prophecies, they're a lot like contemporary science fiction. Bhagavanga claimed the world will undergo changes. It will rise, it will fall. The balance will be established.
Scratch it.
Extraterrestrials are communicating with humans. Instead, you don't see it now, but there is
I'm a new soul coming on this strange world.
They tell me be prepared for a big event.
I love to have tickle fights with LeBron. Is that nice and stuff?
Humanity in space and extraterrestrial contact.
Lemon!
Will happen in the next 200 years. By 2130, Baba Vanga prophecy.
Meatball ticket to hell. Mom, let's continue the meatball ticket to hell. Welcome to I love gooning to James Charles. Do you know who James Charles is? Mom, do you know who James Charles is? Mom, shh. Do you know who James?
Quiet! Alright. Stop. I'm trying to watch this. I'm going to turn that off and that off. The light.
The light. Okay.
Can't count your money in the dark. Alright, give me it.
No.
You're done.
No. No. Please. 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 I can count in the dark. You know that, right? It's not nice.
I'm going to bed.
I'll just keep my flashlight on.
You gotta be quiet or I'm taking my phone.
I'll be quiet. Dingleberry.
Several nations and private companies to get to Mars, to colonize Mars. So what's going on here? One of humanity's great visionaries, Elon Musk, sees real problems ahead for humanity. In his view, our colonization of Mars is an effort to save or back up humanity. It's a compelling possibility that, in fact, there is some greater organized effort being made to steer human knowledge towards a desired outcome. Brain could act as a tuning fork or antenna for the Akashic record itself, which may have very explicit directions leading us down a certain path. We're going to Mars. We're going to be a spacefaring nation and civilization going to other planets.
What the fuck?
What?
Did you just throw something? A penny?
No,
You did.
I did not.
I heard it hit the ground, Kane. That was my earring.
I was like, a ghost threw a penny?
In order to move us forward. Ancient astronaut theorists suggest that if mankind fulfills its mission to colonize Mars, we may be repeating the past. According to scientific evidence proposed by Dr. John Brennan in an article for the Journal of Cosmology in 2013,
My love,
Baba Vanga's
my
prediction for
darling
nuclear
shot.
may have happened once before. There appears to have been a devastating nuclear attack on Mars. Two massive nuclear weapons detonated over the surface of Mars, barely dropped from space. I originally proposed as an explanation that this was a natural nuclear reactor. It had gone unstable. However, as I talked to
I swear to God, if that phone falls, I'm going to crash out so hard.
that is weapon signature. There's no natural
Just like I go hard on your mom.
nuclear data. Evidence has shown us that there's possibility that Mars may have suffered a nuclear war deep in ancient history. This would suggest that human events are
My
repeated,
darling
and that throughout time we go back
child,
and retrace our steps.
Mommy's here.
It could be that the past presidents betrayed our and if
Hush,
that's the case, it really
my
love,
my darling child.
looked at as a script.
Mommy's
Computer
here.
code, then it would make sense that we are in some way being directed by that information. It is guiding our behavior. These prophecies may be actually something where people were tapping into a future that already existed in some other sense. And it appears to be something that is part of a greater
extraterrestrial influence in making sure that we stay on script.
Exoskeletal obituary birthday CDG. Please, a recovery.
A script, like a cosmic computer code that humans are being programmed to follow.
My love,
Perhaps the answer can be found
my
by examining evidence discovered by theoretical physicists that there is programming language embedded in the very fabric of the universe.
Day over. Now it's
Girl time.
and FanDuel Casino's new
I
exclusive
swear to
Puff
Lord.
and Puff Money Mansion is back with them. With Mega Hats winning Mega Mayhem. 8 bucks wins
There.
running wild.
Good angle.
Television from you know who.
Now I can't lean too much forward, or else I'll freaking knock it over and I'll freaking break my mom's skull.
Back in casino bonus.
You didn't hear that. Mom, Freddy or Golden Freddy? Mom,
I don't care.
pick one.
Ready?
Freddy or Fredbear?
Ready?
Fredbear or Nightmare Fredbear?
Ready?
Fredbear or for frick's sake. My freaking crackers fell onto the floor.
Pick 'em up, please.
There.
Alright.
College Park, Maryland, 2008. Physicist and University of Maryland professor in the equations defining the fabric of the universe. He theorizes that since these error-correcting codes are indistinguishable from those that drive search engines on our computers, he suggests
What am I doing?
is digital in nature.
Professor Gates finding computer code in his string theories, it literally shook me because what he's saying is that there is code, and not only code, but code that we use for our computers in the fabric of reality. So the implication is that our reality is digital, that every experience you've ever had is based on code.
Mommy's
They have found
here.
computer algorithms in the existence of the universe, a code of 1 and 0s, which would imply that the idea of an information field or the cloud is not a new
Mommy's
idea, and
here.
it's happened before.
Hi,
Now, what the forces are behind the Akashic record, your guess is as good as mine.
child.
If computer code is embedded within the very fabric of the universe, might it have been put there by an ancient
What's that burning
extraterrestrial
smell?
race? Or possibly even an
I don't
earlier
know.
race of humans? And has mankind established a new Akashic record with the creation of the cloud? But if so, are we merely following a pre-programmed cosmic script embedded within an invisible
Oh, it must be
realm
the
that
crackers.
exists all around us?
These.
Why would they
Do
be
we
burning?
have free will?
They
Or
just
are
smell
we
like
totally
burnt stuff.
determined?
No, I smell like
The
burnt.
answer is If
fire.
you're not aware of the choices you're making, you're a biological robot. But if you become conscious of
Maybe a
the nature
neighbor.
of the universe,
No, it's
then
in
you
here.
can start to have some degree of freedom.
And as we reclaim the Akashic records and even go
Should we
beyond
ignore it?
this
Or
could be the key that opens the
what?
door that will enable us to enter into a new level of existence or a new reality. We are evolving to a stage where we're unlocking secrets and codes and patterns that have always been there. It's mind-blowing, but it's also conscious altering. What it does is it starts to drive humanity towards discovering what we really are, who we really are, what's our purpose here as a species.
Is there really a cosmic repository of all knowledge contained within the universe, past, present, and future? And if so, does the recent invention of what is commonly known as the cloud help pave the way to a future of limitless possibilities? Perhaps when we finally tap into the Akashic record, we will find out.
Hey guys, do you want to shoot a family of 5 with me?
That has been in place for millions of years. A program that will ultimately lead us to our final destiny.
Mom, have you failed me?
Other worlds.
Yep.
Throughout the ancient world, there were tales of mortals and immortals.
In Christian traditions, in Islamic traditions,
My mom,
have these divine
I
beings
failed.
who live forever.
I was
Could
failed.
these stories be accounts of
Mom,
alien
am I a
visitors
failure
who
at
traveled
life?
from thousands
Let's
of
hope
light
not.
years away?
Have I failed so far?
Civilization that has interstellar travel. If they can travel through the stars,
Mom, have I
they
failed
could
so
stretch
far?
their
Just in how
longevity,
you act
maybe even to
and the things you
centuries.
say.
And if
Sometimes.
we are to one day colonize
Jeez.
other planets, will we too
You're just
be
talking
in
about
this
killing a
number?
family of
The
5.
truth is,
Why would you say something like that?
Ancestors have wanted us to do
And why do
is
you tempt the
keep
perverts
life
online
very-
with
There
me?
needs to be a space here and raise those
What's
with
wrong with you?
I
who live
don't
these
know.
extended lives, where we become essentially immortal.
The FBI is gonna show up. Is that what you want?
There is a
No.
doorway.
Why would the FBI show up?
Beyond it is the promise of
Why
truth.
would the FBI show
Because you're
up?
talking about murdering people, one,
Ever been told. The
and you're
evidence
flirting
is
with
all around
perverts.
us. The future is right before our
Two.
eyes. We are not alone. We have never.
They're gonna be like, well, we can't get all the perverts, but we can take this little pervert bait child.
The Ashmolean
Put him in
Museum of
military
Natural Archaeology.
Born for bait.
Among the hundreds of historic artifacts
Born
on
for
display
bait.
is
Yeah.
an ancient Sumerian
He was
cuneiform
born for
text
bait.
dating back to at least 2000 BC. The four-sided clay document.
Why are
is a
people
list
in
of
the
kings
military
who
so
lived far
mean?
longer than the average human lifespan.
It's a tactic
In the
they
Ashmolean
use to
Museum
like
in Oxford, there's an astounding
like,
artifact. It's referred to as
break you
WB44,
down.
the Sumerian Kings List.
to make you into a
On one
robot
panel, it tells us
killing
about 8
machine.
kings that ruled over 5
That has
cities.
nothing
And what's
left to
astounding
lose.
about this is the length of the
So
reigns
you're
of
ready
these
for
kings.
battle.
I think it's like a
One
form of
king is said to
brainwash.
have ruled for 43,200 years. Another king rules for 28,000
I love
years.
kinky people.
Curiously, the Sumerian Kings List is not the only ancient
No,
record of
remember
rulers
that one
who lived
movie
for centuries.
that we watched a while ago that
A
was
curious
like,
document was found in
who's
a
that
tomb
weird
in
couple with a bunch
Oh,
of
the people under
and
the
it's
stairs?
called the
yeah.
Turin Kings List.
They were like, come here, mommy, we got another one that needs to be shot in the head.
What this document
Okay.
lays out
Okay,
is that many
daddy.
of the really early Egyptian pharaohs had lives that were many hundreds of years, and that some of these pharaohs lived for 7, 8, 900 years. We have a similar story in in the Bible of Methuselah.
Is it merely coincidence that in 3 different ancient traditions, there are records of their earliest leaders living impossibly long lives? Curiously, in all 3 cultures, it was also recorded that during the time when people lived to these incredible ages, humans shared the earth with beings who came down from the sky. The ancient Egyptians referred to a time called the first time, when the gods walked among men.
Bigger my
Ancient
booty
Egyptian
up in
creation mythology
3D.
tells us that
I'll
these
shake my
original god
booty
beings
in my
came
own
from
booty.
the stars.
It's
This
movie.
sounds very much like the arrival of the Anunnaki.
The divine
The
lords
hell is
of
an
light of the Sumerian
Anunnaki?
tradition, when they arrived
The
atop
Naki of
Mount
an
Kosar.
Unun.
It's also virtually
The
identical
knocker
to
upper
the
of a.
arrival of the Watchers.
The hell do I mean by that?
The angels of the Old Testament. They are the fallen angels who came to earth and intermingled with humans. The Watchers, like divine
Bait
beings in
child.
other ancient cultures, were referred to as immortals, but often they were described as having very human-like traits.
There were 200 of these watchers.
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
were
yeah,
led
yeah.
by,
Yeah, yeah,
an
yeah, yo.
individual named
Yeah,
Sanjay.
yeah, yeah, yo. Yeah, 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 yo.
There was a
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
translucence,
yo.
there was
Yeah,
an
yeah,
aura
yeah,
about
yo.
them that was
Yeah,
as
yeah,
bright as the
yeah,
sun.
yo.
But they seem to be more human in their appetites than one would like to believe. They're hungry, they eat, they want affection, they lust. I think that the Watchers most definitely are extraterrestrials who came to Earth.
Hey, Mom, why is lust a sin
Ancient original cultures
in the Bible?
speak of a time when the gods descended from the
Like,
sky.
what's so
and
bad
mingled
about
with
it?
people to impart their knowledge. Ancient Egypt, ancient China, ancient Samaria, ancient
Not
Japan.
really sure. It doesn't
ancient
really
Greece.
specify.
And so I think the different cultures were visited by the same teachers. Who
So
were
lust is like
extraterrestrials.
basically
Could it be
people want to
that
have
the earliest
sex
human
and stuff.
civilizations
And
No, I think it's just an
from
attraction.
another world?
yeah, well,
No.
That's all.
part of
These
it
were
is
somehow
because
connected
they
to the
want to have
ancient
sex.
records of
And-
It's the
people who lived
hormonal part.
extraordinarily long lives.
Yeah, and
Ancient
wanting to have
astronaut theorists
sex
suggest
is
an
also
important
called
clue can be
horny,
found
and that
in a
is
famous
basically
verse
short
from
for
the Bible that is
hormone,
often
which is a
mistranslated.
basic human
In
thing.
many English
So
versions of the book
literally,
of Genesis,
you can't
chapter
have
1,
a
verse
basic
27
human
states
thought.
that God created man in his own image. But in the original Hebrew, instead of his image, it says,
I mean, I
our
believe in
image.
God, but some things
God says he
Christians
asked us,
say,
"Let
not
us
so
make
much.
man in our image." Well, you have to say, well, who is our? Who are the other people there?
Christians aren't the only one who
Well,
think
the
like
word
that.
God in Hebrew.
They're not the only
is
religion
Elohim,
that's
and that is
like
plural.
extra like that.
If you look at the original
Don't blame it all on
Hebrew
them.
in which this sentence was
They're
written,
lame.
all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Doesn't mean God is lame.
because
Yeah, it
according
doesn't
to
mean
ancient
God is
astronaut
lame.
theory, someone came
I do believe in
and someone
God, but
altered our DNA
Christians
in
are
order
just
for us to become
crazy
humans
in the head.
and essentially gave
Insane
us
in the
more
membrane.
intelligence.
Practically every culture, including our Bible, says, in the beginning, God in the plural,
They're just a little bit
created humans
cuckoo.
according their own image. I'm a deep believer in God. But God is something gigantic, spiritual, not explainable. In my opinion, when you read the Bible, it's all about extraterrestrials.
Part of ancient astronaut theory is that what our extraterrestrial ancestors have wanted us to do is be like them. They want us to achieve the same things that they achieved.
The goal was some thousands of years in the far future. This humanity should construct spaceships to spread out in the universe again.
If Homo sapiens
were genetically engineered by
I mean, I
extraterrestrial
could see
space
some
travel
forms of
to
lust being
find
bad,
out
like if you've lust after
other planets.
something you shouldn't, like an animal or a small child. That would definitely be not good.
Interstellar travel will only be possible
And worthy of punishment of some sort.
to extend its human lifespan. Maybe our generation, with new developments in technologies, will be living to the mid 100s, 150, maybe even up to 200 in the next few decades. So imagine an advanced civilization that has interstellar travel. Certainly, if they can travel through the stars, they could stretch their longevity, maybe even to centuries. Could it be that the ancient people referred to the gods as immortals because they encountered space travelers who lived for thousands of years? And if so, is it possible that there are records of early rulers living for centuries because these visitors somehow extended their lifespans?
It was natural for people in those days to live a life close to 1,000 years. We're talking about those who interacted with these beings from the stars. Are these things connected?
We're talking about an age in which otherworldly beings assist humankind in becoming
Christians
very
are
much
weird
like
is
the
because,
gods.
like, I was in the car one time and I saw this
But if
weird
our ancestors
guy,
from deep antiquity
like, with a
were
cross.
so
He was, like,
close to becoming like their extraterrestrial
like
creators,
doing this in
as
the air
ancient
with the
astronaut
cross.
theorists
He
suggest,
was
what
driving
kept them
in, like, a
from
big
realizing this
truck,
destiny?
the window down.
And are humans
His
today
head was
still
out
on the same path?
with his left hand.
Perhaps further clues
I'm
can
like
be found
shaking
by
the
examining the
cross,
story shared by
screaming
different
about
cultures
God
all
or
over the
something,
world. The story
while just not even paying attention to the road.
This terrain does not sit silent. It speaks to you, wakes you up to ride on the
I
banks
am
of
so
glaciers,
surprised he
invites all
did
to
not
rise
get in
above the
an
clouds to
accident.
feel the sensation of steam from the
Give him
peak,
time.
beckons others further into the high alpine bowls of the Canadian wilderness. The most expansive terrain in North America reminds you the only way to experience the 60th
I think,
anniversary is to go live it.
I think for
Buy
real,
early, save up to
being a
$100
crazy
per lift
Christian
ticket.
like that is a sin.
I'm sure it is.
We're millionaires.
Like
It's something we're
Kate or
doing.
something.
It's worth
Oh
doing in
yeah,
a
for
thrilling way.
sure.
And that's why we love Rewards
It would
Club
be
from
like a
FanDuel Casino.
sin of arrogance.
I love getting more for my money with a weekly bonus
That's like
bet.
an
Plus players get
unforgivable
access to
sin.
thrilling rewards
Well,
like
I
a
would say
birthday
it's
bonus.
unforgivable
Calling all
because you can
trillionaires.
change.
FanDuel Casino.
But yeah, it's definitely
Buying a
not
car
good
is
to
kind of a
think
big
that
deal.
you're better
There's like a
than
million
anyone
options,
else
and you deserve something you love.
because of your
The Car Gurus,
beliefs.
we get it. As the #1 most
And I
visited
mean,
car
she's
shopping
Christian,
site,
but
we
she
make sure your
is a
good
terrible
deal is the
human
best
being.
deal. Car Gurus.
The wait is over, Whitehall. Lomax Carpet and Floors is now open, and we're rolling out the savings. Refresh your home with the East Coast's largest terra-free in-stock flooring selection. At Lomax Carpet and Floors, real flooring
I
pros
want
guide
to
you every step,
relax
not
my
fake
legs
covers.
so
See it, touch it,
bad.
even snow angel it before you buy. We'll even cut and bind your custom
Why?
while you wait. Plus, enjoy
I
grand
want
opening
to
savings
relax
of
my
50%
legs. Like,
online,
my
free
legs are
carpet
literally
installation
so
in just 7
sore
days. Lomax
from,
Carpet
like,
and Floors,
sitting
expert guidance,
Indian
pricing,
style.
massive in-stock
I'm
selection.
sorry, crisscross applesauce.
You can't say Indian style?
Yeah, you can't say Indian style. Is that stupid?
Why does it hurt your legs to sit Indian style?
The
I've been
Bible's
sitting
book of
like that
Genesis.
for the past
In
hour.
chapter
I can
6,
sit like that
verse
forever. I
9,
can fall asleep like
begins
that.
the story of
I
Noah
know,
and the
but
flood.
I mean, I have to be constrained, or else I'll like knock this over and causing my phone, which will get pissed off. And I don't want
It
to
is
be.
one of the most
It's a
well-known
kitty.
tales from the
It's a kitty.
Bible. But curiously,
Hey, you want this
nearly
meat?
identical stories exist
You want this
in
pepperoni?
dozens of other
Hey,
ancient
hey.
traditions.
Hey, kitty, kitty. Oh,
Heard about the
salami.
flood of Noah,
You
which
want a
wiped
salami?
out that whole generation and brought about a new generation
I
of
don't want him to
descendants
blow
of
up the
Noah.
litter box.
The fact is, all these
I don't want
stories
him to
of
blow up the litter box.
in all countries
Lizard vlog.
You give him salami, he will for sure blow up the
He talked about a whole civilization
No.
destroyed by
I will take it and I'll stick it in your hair.
The crap.
Yep.
No. Guys, help me. My mom wants to molest me. Okay.
Why would you say something like that? Putting cat poop in your hair has nothing to do with molesting you.
Yeah, it does.
Don't yell.
I want to release a primal scream. I think my cat's in the
Okay, bedtime. Night night. Quiet time.
My mom is a post thing.
Some gods are coming down and teach the human a great flood will come and destroy you. And these gods knew it long before. And they knew it because they themselves made the great flood. The great flood.
Oh my god! My pepperoni! Kitty, kitty, my pepperoni!
An historical record of a
Oh my god!
that was brought on by extraterrestrials.
Give me back the pepperoni! Oh my god! The cat! The cat took the pepperoni!
Let him.
No, no, I wanted to eat the pepperoni. No, kitty, give me.
It's the last of it.
The pepperoni's gone. No, the kitty ate the pepperoni. Artificial facade, do they gotta forget?
We hear about the sons of God. They see the
Is the cat gonna blow up the litter box from the pepperoni?
Absolutely.
Oh my god. No. No. Kitty.
You weren't supposed to fraternize with the neighbors, but this is what we are told in the Bible.
No. The cat downed the tree.
Kane, alright, give it to me. Give it to me. Jesus. Why are you eating this? I thought you were gonna eat it.
Oh, is there some? Oh, there's one pepperoni left.
Kane, don't give it to the cat.
Maybe we can revisit the story and look at it from maybe an extraterrestrial hypothesis or point of view. They're creating a hybrid race. The DNA of the off-world intelligence and the human DNA creates this hybrid race. And most of these beings
Remember the music from the beginning?
had what we could call superhuman.
How could I forget?
One that closed the gap between mortals and immortals far more quickly than was intended. And it is a story that once again was told across
The kitty's
many
up here.
cultures.
He's the companion.
The daughters of men, it is said that mighty
He watches down on us. Like, never mind, he doesn't watch down on us. He just roams around being annoying.
But a lifespan much, much longer than ours.
When you look back at ancient Egyptian history,
I want to
the
count my
pharaohs
money.
themselves were said to be
my-
demigods. Part god,
cat's
part
here now.
human. This was present in the
Artificial
Greek
facade,
imagination. The
do out of a
Olympians
cat.
were known to get involved in the world of mortals, as they were intervened
Come
sometimes.
on
Sometimes they
down
were attracted
with
to a
me,
mortal,
come along,
Shomu,
yeah.
Hercules,
Come along,
These
yeah,
are
yeah,
the offspring
yeah.
of demigods.
You
half-gods,
will
half-humans.
see, come along,
Many
yeah,
of the
come on,
ancient
come along.
stories,
We
the
are
gods who were responsible for this upgrade of humanity
penis.
were acting against the wishes of their superiors. They were not just helping to
Or-
jumpstart human civilization, but creating a new race of
Artificial
immortals.
facade through the thought of a god.
Enoch, who's the scribe of God, says that these angels went against the will of
Artificial
God.
facade
Now,
through
you
the thought
can
of a god.
imagine those angels were extraterrestrial in origin. And when they were directed,
Just
they violated. They gave us
liar.
gifts, and
Too.
we weren't ready for those gifts. It's like giving a gun to a baby. Nothing good will
Birds
happen.
on a
Maybe
wire.
extraterrestrials were protecting
One
humanity, and
tries
humanity is
to
considered a
fly
sacred project.
away.
And they know that while
And
they've
the
begun it
other
thousands of years ago, it would take thousands or perhaps tens
artificial
of thousands
facade,
of years for
the
humanity to
motherfucker.
reach its ultimate fulfillment. But they were committed ultimately
Artificial
to the sacredness or the
facade,
fulfillment of
motherfucker.
the project. And this is why they've restarted civilization. As far as ancient astronaut theorists are concerned, the story of Noah and
Yummy.
his family being saved from the flood shows that Earth's extraterrestrial visitors did not abandon their plan for humankind. As further evidence, they cite a 2,000-year-old text called the Zohar that continues the biblical story of the Watchers
Two
after the cataclysm
birds
that ended
on
the
a
previous
wire.
age of humans.
The Zohar says that there's a great
One
secret about the
says, "Come
angels
on,"
who walked
and
with
the
us on
other
earth.
says, "I'm tired."
Watchers.
Two
They ascended
birds
through the
on a
stars.
wire.
And they are the ones who come back and shepherd us, watch over us. They watch over humanity and direct the course
The one I
of our
love you.
civilization.
I have to kiss you
I
all
think
night
that
long.
the extraterrestrials never left. Why? Because according to the ancient astronaut theory, we are their offspring. They made us Homo sapiens sapiens, who we are today. If you have such a creation, I don't think you would just abandon that. We are a long-term project.
Shake my
If the
balls.
first
Shake my
humans shared the
balls.
planet with alien visitors, as ancient astronaut theorists suggest, is it possible that these otherworldly beings have remained on Earth for thousands of years, continuing to direct the course of humanity? And if humans were designed to ultimately achieve immortality, just how will that happen? Perhaps further clues can be found by examining a strange substance discovered on Easter Island.
Come on, yeah, come on, come on.
Hey buddy, what's going on? I'm trying to run as fast as T-Mobile. Well, you better pick it up because now T-Mobile has the fastest 5G home internet. Really? Well, how's this? Show me. Watch and learn, my friend. This is how fast T-Mobile home internet is. T-Mobile now has the fastest 5G home internet. Just $30 a month for a limited time.
You know what? I don't even. Ah, my eyes! I love you, kitty. Kitty Liddy. I love you, kitty.
Easter Island. Lying over 2,000 miles off the coast of Chile, this remote landmass is famous for the nearly 1,000 monolithic stone statues called
I swear to
moai
God, if you sit
found along
down.
its coastline. For ancient astronaut theorists, the enormous statues, along with the local legends that say they represent giant beings who came down from the sky, present a compelling case for Easter Island being a place of extraterrestrial visitation. And what has made this notion even more intriguing is the discovery that the island soil contains a substance called rapamycin that might be able to extend the human lifespan. In 1968, a remarkable substance was found, a kind of bacterial substance called rapamycin. Now, it was given that name because it was found on Rapa Nui of Easter Island, which in itself is very interesting. And what they found was it could actually help when people had organ transplants stop them rejecting it. But it could also help in cancer therapies as well. Then they found that it had very strong anti-aging properties. It would almost reverse aging in certain medical situations. Rapamycin has already been shown to extend lifespan and improve health in mice. And in 2018, researchers at Texas A&M began testing the substance on dogs. While there is still much to learn about the effects of rapamycin, scientists are hopeful that it could prove to actually reverse aging on a cellular level.
Was it a coincidence that rapamycin was found on
Nothing.
Easter
I
Island?
was
There's
just
possible
thinking
alien
of how,
visitations?
how
You don't
Blake
know.
the
In fact, one question
pepperoni
to ask
earlier.
is what do the aliens do to
I was
live
just thinking of
very
how
long
he'd
lives
like
themselves?
blow up
Do
the
they take
litter
certain
box.
substances?
Not like with his poop, like actually blow up with fire and stuff.
Easter Island was left
Just like
behind by
he'd be
alien
like,
visitors who used it as a way to extend their lifespan.
and like the entire house explodes.
There are stories of dogs possessing elixirs of immortality
Gonna blow up
and
the
sometimes
bathroom.
sharing them with humans.
There are
Just like
many
how I've
types
blown
of
up the
cultures
bathroom after
that
Taco
have
Bell
their
multiple
own
times.
food and drink that could bring immortality. For instance, in China, there was the peaches of immortality that were given out by the goddess known as the Young Mother of the West. These were given to the immortals of China to quite literally allow them to live for
Bomb, bomb,
eternity.
bomb, bomb, bomb.
For the Greeks, it's this nectar ambrosia that literally the
Bomb,
food
bomb,
of the
bomb,
gods.
bomb,
If you
bomb, I
consume
ran.
that,
Bomb,
then you
bomb,
yourself
bomb,
will be
bomb,
divine.
bomb, I ran.
In the Vedas, you have this drink, soma, and the same idea that this is what feeds the gods and keeps them alive and immortal. And if we humans eat that food, these substances will keep us alive forever.
If these gods were, in fact, alien visitors, could it be that they were able to achieve immortality simply by ingesting some type of plant or drug? Some ancient astronaut theorists suggest that substances like ambrosia were merely symbolic devices representing
I
the
love
gods' ability
wearing the
to
same
extend their
clothes for
lives.
3 days
And they believe
straight.
this was accomplished using the same technology that scientists
Soon to
are
be 4
developing
days
today.
straight.
Gene splicing. Cambridge, Massachusetts,
Artificial facade,
January 6,
artificial
2021. A team of scientists working with a gene manipulating technology known as CRISPR at the Broad Institute of Harvard and MIT makes a groundbreaking discovery. By editing specific genes in mice, the researchers were able to double the lifespans of their test subjects.
CRISPR, you can think of it like we can cut and snip out pieces of our DNA. And if we can discover, for example, part of our genetic code that has to do with aging, we can maybe cut it out. Or we can add things into the genetic code that might extend life to potentially create a human that could live forever.
If we can rewrite the DNA code, in principle, we can live forever. Already, we've been able to slice and dice that for a mouse, and eventually we'll do it for a human.
While it remains to be seen if CRISPR technology will succeed in increasing the human lifespan, some scientists believe the key to immortality may be found by studying a strange sea creature that has the ability to live forever.
So one thing in nature that seems to be immortal is the immortal jellyfish, where it can actually revert to an earlier state when damaged or at risk, and then regrow back into the adult state.
The cells of all animals begin as stem cells, which then develop into organs, muscles, bones, and whatever else the organism needs. The jellyfish species, Turritopsis guanai, commonly known as the immortal jellyfish, can take mature adult cells and turn them back into stem cells, allowing the jellyfish to, in effect, start its development all over.
So you're really reversing the biological timeline and then resetting it going forward so that you're actually not only living longer, but you're also younger. And thinking about how these things get reversed, to me, is an intriguing way to approach the biology and the immortality.
By understanding species like the immortal jellyfish, and through the technology of gene editing, might we greatly extend the human lifespan? And could extraterrestrials have used similar means to achieve immortality, allowing them to travel great distances through space?
It often seems to me that we live in a time of rediscovery, meaning that the fact that we come up with ways with which to improve and prolong our lives, extraterrestrials have figured that out long ago.
But while scientists are optimistic that the human lifespan can be lengthened through genetic engineering, many aerospace experts believe that biological bodies are simply not equipped to withstand the rigors of extended space travel. They suggest that if humans are to one day colonize other planets, it will require merging man and machine.
Yo, new beat, new lyrics.
I'm kind of feeling this. The wait is over, Whitehall. Lomax Carpet and Floors is now open, and we're rolling out the savings. Refresh your home with the East Coast's largest terra-free in-stock flooring selection. At Lomax Carpet and Floors, real flooring pros guide you every step, not aisle helpers. See it, touch it, even snow angel it before you buy. We'll even cut and bind your custom rug while you wait. Plus, enjoy grand opening savings of 50% off store-wide and free carpet installation in just 7 days. Lomax Carpet and Floors, expert guidance, outlet pricing, massive in-stock selection.
Washington, D.C., the National Press Club, May 9, 2001. In a press conference organized by a UFO investigative group called the Disclosure Project, former Army Sergeant Clifford Stone makes a shocking announcement. He claims to be part of a top-secret military unit once tasked with recovering extraterrestrial craft and their pilots for the U.S. government.
I was involved in situations where we actually did recoveries of crashed saucers, for lack of a better term, debris thereof. There were bodies that were involved with some of these crashes, also some were alive. While we were doing all this, we were telling the American public there was nothing to it. We were telling the world there was nothing to it.
Sergeant Stone would later describe a specific mission in which he learned that the pilot of an extraterrestrial craft was, quote, a biological robot.
So what you found was
that these so-called grey aliens with the skinny bodies, giant heads, were like biological robots. They had few organs, they had all this machinery and computing inside them. And he really questioned what this was all about, and the conclusion was that they must have been created to travel huge distances from their planet to this planet. Because if they were just a biological entity, they simply would not have survived.
Could it be that Earth is being visited by alien entities that are part machine? Is this why the ancient people referred to the gods as immortals? Because they were not entirely biological beings and appeared to never age. As further support for this notion, ancient astronaut theorists point to a strange figure that appears in 18th century France, the mysterious Count de Saint-Germain.
The Count de Saint-Germain is probably one of the most enigmatic gentlemen of human history. He was an adventurer, he was a scientist, he was a composer, he knew several languages, yet strangely, he always was the same age whenever anybody saw him.
One of the most interesting stories about the Count was that when he was at a social gathering, he met an old woman. And the old woman said, "I met you 60 years ago when I was a young woman. And you looked in your 40s then, the same as you do now. You hadn't aged." Another thing that people talk about was that he had so much knowledge of history and of science. He knew a lot of the leaders and kings.
Throughout his reportedly very long life, the Count de Saint-Germain befriended many noblemen and rulers who he was believed to have great influence over.
In the mid-1700s, he was a diplomat for King Louis XV. And in the 1760s, he traveled to Russia, and he was complicit in the overthrow that put Catherine the Great in place as the Tsar of Russia.
It was rumored that he later advised the Russian imperial commander in the war against the Turks, which the Russians ultimately won.
He's supposed to have died in 1784, but there were reported sightings of him just the following year, entering into a Masonic lodge in France, where his name was actually noted there and then. He was reportedly at the beheading of Marie Antoinette several years later. And there are many other reports of his presence all the way around the world in the 19th century.
In addition to appearing in historical records long after he was alleged to have died, it was said by many who knew the Count de Saint-Germain that he had odd habits and possessed extraordinary abilities.
One of the strange things about him were his dietary habits. He'd sit with other people as they ate, but he wouldn't eat with them. One of Count Saint-Germain's contacts in the 18th century was Casanova, who said he had the ability to melt diamonds, that he had amazing abilities and powers. He thought that he was an incredible superhuman type of person. So if Saint-Germain had lived centuries, if he was alien from the past, certainly when you look at aliens who are thousands of years in advance of us, they could have had alterations genetically or mechanically that would allow them to live a very long time.
Is it possible that the Count de Saint-Germain was an extraterrestrial entity that was part robotic, much like the great alien that Sergeant Clifford Stone claims to have examined? Ancient astronaut theorists suggest that such a scenario is not so far-fetched, considering that today we are already creating robots that are incredibly human-like in their appearance. One of the most cutting-edge is a Hanson Robotics creation named Sophia.
What is absolutely mind-blowing about Sophia and other robotic entities is it's not hard to imagine the population of extraterrestrials creating humanoid robots like the ones that we're building today. Probably even more advanced. And it makes a lot of sense for us to send robots into space instead of flesh and blood bodies. If it makes sense for us, it probably makes sense for extraterrestrials as well.
If the ancient astronaut theory is correct, and humankind was created to follow in the footsteps of its extraterrestrial creators,
Well, that means merging man and machine. According to some scientists, that process is already underway.
Goodness. 1. Remember, I don't want surgery for my Dupuytren's contraction. 2. I don't want to wait for my contracture to get worse. 3. I want a treatment with minimal downtime. 4. I want a non-surgical treatment. And 5.
And if non-surgical treatment isn't offered,
I'll get a second opinion. Let's go.
Take charge of your treatment. If you can't lay your hand flat, visit findahandspecialist.com to get started.
In the V6 powered Nissan Frontier, out-monster a monster truck. Not that you would, but you could. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality.
Arlington, Virginia.
Wait a
Located
minute,
just
get
4
here.
miles west of the
Wait
Pentagon.
here a second.
He's the
Right back.
headquarters
Okay?
for the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, better known as DARPA. Since 2002, DARPA has been investing hundreds of millions of dollars in its brain-machine interface program for the U.S. military. The technologies they are developing allow humans to control mechanical devices with their minds.
there are these brain-computer interfaces where we can implant electrodes in the brain, and for example, you can control a prosthetic limb by just using your thoughts. With these brain-computer interfaces, the chip records activation in your brain, it sends that information to a computer.
Oh, next
which
time you
then
go through
sends
that
to,
door
let's say, a
there or
prosthetic
whatever.
limb to control it.
This is certainly a good way to extend lives
What?
when the brain is not the
Shut
part
it,
that's
kind
failing,
of.
but
Keeps
it's
the
rest
heat
of
in.
the
It's
body
too cold in
that's
the rest of the
failing.
house. We
Because
need
you
to
can
stay
actually
warm.
now imagine human
Okay.
sort of metal robotic cyborg combinations where your brain is now not just controlling maybe your
That is the
biological
rest of
body,
the house
but
turned out to
something
be 60.
artificial and man-made.
You give this technology another 50
We'll need a
years, and we will
code.
Yeah, I
appear
could
as
already
God
feel it
beings
when I go
to
towards
a
that door,
person
and as soon as
living
I
at the
stand up,
beginning
this
of the
room's
20th
cold. That
century.
heat's constantly on because that
So
door right there
let's
is
now look
open.
back at
You don't have to
the
shut it all the way, just when it's
extraterrestrial
little blink.
gods of
See,
the
it's only
ancient
open a
world.
crack.
They must have
Should've
had
did it
at
when I
least
was
the
up.
level of technological sophistication that we are enjoying and experiencing today. Probably even more advanced.
Aren't you cold?
I think it's fascinating
I'm
where we are in
kinda
this moment in time.
Not really,
Because
though.
what if one day we can create artificial human beings?
I've been at this for
And
an
in
hour
fact,
and
we are merely rediscovering
almost an hour
what
and a
has
half.
happened
The
already
majority of
a
the
long
time you're
ago.
laughing at yourself.
As far as some Asian astronaut theorists
Yeah, because
are
of an
concerned,
insane
merging biology and technology is an important first step in becoming like our alien ancestors. But they believe the extraterrestrial beings that people have reported encountering on Earth may be merely avatars, vessels for intelligences that can move from
Wonder
one
why
mind
the carpet
to
here
another.
is sticky.
What if
I
there's
feel
difficulty
stickiness.
or light
Is it?
They have
Well, it
numerous
was just my
sources
foot that felt
that tell us that
stickiness.
God
Or
beings
Still
originally
gear or
light
something.
beings that could then
No,
phase into
I
a
put my hand
physical
there,
flesh and
not
blood
sticky,
form,
but
and
when I
then
put my
phase
foot
back
there,
into their light
sticky.
body form
Maybe
when
it's
they
just
want
my
to travel
foot
the
that's
stars.
sticky.
You hear the story of the Anunnaki, the divine lords of light in the Sumerian tradition. for the arrival of the Watchers, the Lords of Light who descended upon Mount Hermon.
The stories of Vishnu actually describe Vishnu having many manifestations of himself as other gods. He would come to our reality as a different god. He came to Earth many different times as many different people and had adventures and activities, and then he would go back into the heavens as Vishnu.
The aliens could be avatars. They can withstand all the rigors of outer space because they are part biological and part mechanical, but controlled by an alien consciousness in a different star system.
While the notion of a conscious being that can move from one body to another may sound far-fetched, humankind is working towards realizing this technology right now by attempting to map the human brain.
Whole brain emulation is the ability to create a carbon copy of the brain itself. Already, by slicing and dicing the brain of a fruit fly, we've been able to catalog all the connections of a fruit fly's brain up to 100,000 neurons. Think about that. Every single connection of the brain of a fruit fly mapped using computers by slicing and dicing the brain. Now, the human brain
Why
is
does
much
he
more
say
complicated.
slicing and dicing?
100 billion neurons, with each neuron
Mom.
connected to
Mom.
10,000 other neurons. But in principle, that's also possible. To
Why
create
does
an
he say
exact
slicing and
copy of the
dicing?
brain to map every single neuron of the brain using transistors rather than neurons. And it would in principle be identical to who you are. It would have access to all your memories, all your dreams, all your foibles, all your mannerisms. It'll take, of course, decades to give you that kind of accuracy, but it is doable.
Once scientists can completely replicate a human brain through whole brain emulation, then that information can be uploaded to a computer to digitally represent a person's consciousness. Could it be that extraterrestrials who already possess this capability have come to Earth by uploading their consciousness into artificial bodies? There are some theoretical physicists who say not only is this possible, but that this is how humans will eventually leave the planet and travel the stars.
My car insurance bill doubled?
You should try Insurify. In just a few clicks, you can compare rates from dozens of insurance companies. And you could...
I just got the same coverage for half the price.
Hey, that's what I was going to say. Go to Insurify.com and save up to $1,000 a year on your car insurance.
The wait is over, Whitehall. Lomax Carpet and Floors is now open, and we're rolling out the savings. Refresh your home with the East Coast's largest terror-free in-stock flooring selection. At Lomax Carpet and Floors, real flooring pros guide you every step, not aisle helpers. See it, touch it, even snow angel it before you buy. We'll even cut and bind your custom rug while you wait. Plus, enjoy grand opening savings of 50% off store-wide and free carpet installation in just 7 days. Lomax Carpet and Floors, expert guidance, outlet pricing, massive in-stock selection.
Mom,
I
can
believe
you
those
stop
who are
snoring?
curious see the world differently. At Viking,
No.
we have always been curious and
You
quite a bit
cannot
different.
stop snoring.
For over 25 years, we've been connecting the thinking person
Maybe
with the world.
you just have to like lay a
First
certain
on the
way.
great
You were like
rivers,
all like
then on all
hunched
5
over in a
oceans,
weird way.
now
Maybe
on
that's
all
why
7
you're snoring.
continents. We are one Viking, exploring the world in comfort.
This is the smother. You've got to shake it to wake it. Imagine if we could do this. I can monster it!
Impressive. Most impressive. Build new LEGO Smart Play sets and the Galaxy Plays back. Sets sold separately.
Boca Chica, Texas.
August 27th,
Boca Chica, Texas.
2019. SpaceX announces the successful test flight of its Starship prototype, Starhopper. The founder of the private aerospace company, billionaire Elon Musk, has also been at the forefront of efforts to upgrade humankind. It is his belief that both pursuits are critical to ensuring the survival of the human race.
It's interesting that today we have these adventurer billionaires like Elon Musk, and they want to put computer chips in our brains, even map our own consciousness and put that in a robot or cyborg. And they're wanting to go into space at the same time. So in many ways, they're like the alien explorers who came here in the past.
I think with known technologies, we can theorize that is within 100, within 200 years, we're talking about fusion rockets and antimatter rockets capable of reaching the stars. And then I think we'll be sending robots into outer space that are actually avatars. I personally think this is the future of the space program. And I think we will do this using laser beams. If we can digitize the human brain, we can put that knowledge on a laser beam and shoot it to the moon. In 1 second, you are on the moon. In 20 minutes, you could be on Mars. In 4 years, at the speed of light, you could reach the nearby stars. And what would you do? If that laser beam goes to the moon, it's then downloaded into an avatar. That avatar can withstand gravity fields, poisonous gases, radiation from the sun. And in fact, I'll stick my neck out. I think this already exists. I think this is the preferred way for an advanced alien species to explore the universe. In fact, near the Earth, there could be a digital highway with the digitized souls of billions of aliens going across the Milky Way galaxy. So I think when we meet aliens from outer space, we should not be surprised if they're actually avatars that are controlled by the aliens in a distant star system.
As entrepreneurs continue to invest billions in pursuit of both space travel and whole brain emulation, are we getting closer to becoming like the immortals our ancestors described thousands of years ago? And if these immortals were responsible for the creation of the human race, as ancient astronaut theorists suggest, could this evolution be exactly what they intended for humankind all along?
Why would extraterrestrials come to Earth and start a human project knowing that it would take thousands of years for us to develop? Well, it could perhaps be that extraterrestrials have a different perspective of time than we do. If we think of the extraterrestrials as immortal, time is irrelevant. And their goal is to assist humanity to become more like them.
There's a potential that humanity is going to become a star-faring nation that has long life, because you're going to need that for some of these long journeys. And we might become more like the gods that seem to live for thousands of years and travel the heavens.
Is humanity on the verge of becoming an intergalactic civilization? And if so, is it possible that we were set on this path by an extraterrestrial race that visited Earth thousands of years ago? Perhaps one day, the immortal gods seen descending from the sky on a distant planet will be us. Rockets. Hurling space probes deep into the cosmos. Sound waves compelling solid objects to float in midair. Laser beams vaporizing targets with pinpoint accuracy. Are these stunning examples of mankind's modern technology? Or are they merely recent incarnations of scientific achievements that have roots stretching back to the ancient past?
The
have several cultures who depict modern technology being used thousands of years ago.
They were working with technology that could literally break the earth in two.
How could they have had these advanced weapons that we've only just acquired ourselves today?
Something in our past has been lost. And we're looking for that answer. Millions of people around the world believe we have been visited in the past by extraterrestrial beings. What if it were true? Did ancient aliens really help to shape our history? And did mankind's cutting-edge technology spring from our imagination? Or could it have come from a source much farther away? In the early morning hours of November 5th, 2005, the luxury cruise ship, the Seabourn Spirit, found itself under attack by pirates in the waters off the coast of Somalia. But the Somali bandits were successfully repelled by a relatively new and formidable defensive weapon, a long-range acoustic device, or LRAD. Manufactured by the LRAD Corporation, this sonic device can, when focused on a target, produce a piercing sound that can exceed 150 decibels, enough to cause temporary blindness, nausea, and permanent hearing loss.
The U.S. Army used sonic weapons in Iraq. They're used in crowd control. There are certain types of low rumbles and signals that will affect a person. They make you feel sick.
The LRAD is currently used by law enforcement, the military, and private security, and is considered the ultimate in sonic weaponry. But is the LRAD really a 21st century invention? Or is there evidence that similar audio weapons existed in ancient times? Approximately 17 miles northeast of Jerusalem lies the ancient ruins of the city of Jericho. Here, archaeologists have uncovered evidence of settlements dating back to 9000 BC. According to the Hebrew Bible, Jericho is believed to be where God spoke to Joshua, the successor to Moses, and instructed him to march around the walled city once every 6 days with 7 priests carrying ram's horns, and followed by the Ark of the Covenant, the golden chest containing the 10 Commandments. Then, on the 7th day, under orders by God, Joshua and the Israelites marched around the perimeter of the city one last time. But this time, they blew the ram's horns. The walls of Jericho fell, and the city was sacked.
In the Old Testament, you see very clear descriptions in Joshua 6 about the shofar, which is described as a trumpet that was used in the Battle of Jericho to actually bring the walls down.
To religious scholars, the collapse of Jericho's walls was a miracle. To most modern-day scientists and historians, the destruction was most probably caused by an earthquake.
I sorted all the coins.
Oh, you didn't count it.
Not yet.
Why don't you save that for tomorrow?
Advanced sound wave technology.
Second video.
If so,
Tomorrow.
where did it come from?
Tune back in to see how much you got.
We are only an hour and 30 minutes in.
And then finally blow their
To this
horns and down came the walls. And we know there was a powerful
Welcome to
presence,
Jack.
the Ark of the Covenant, this mysterious sacred items with them at all times, which of course was part of the event and part of the fall of the walls of Jericho.
The idea that some kind of sonic weapon was used to destroy these huge, thick, ancient walls to allow the Israelites to basically take over that city is a fascinating one. So what kind of technology were they using? It sounds
Oh wait, we got
utterly
2 more
fantastic
coins.
to us. If they could have had some kind of advanced alien technology, it's clearly what they're describing.
Wait, what's this?
There is little doubt that the Ark of the Covenant was a weapon. It was described as a weapon. Famously, when the Israelites crossed over into Canaan, they had to pass by Jericho. And it could be that there was some technology. We do not
Osama
know
is
what that
related
technology
to
was, but there was
Obama.
clearly an association between the Ark and the falling down of the walls, and that's the reason that the Ark was sent around the periphery of the city.
According to many ancient astronaut theorists, Moses and the Israelites acquired a supernatural source of energy at Mount Sinai. This powerful energy source was later contained in the Ark of the Covenant and would have provided the kind of power necessary to amplify Joshua's horns and make them into a powerful sonic weapon.
What's interesting about the Battle of Jericho is that this particular use of the shofar clearly seems to be the same thing that we're seeing with particle beam technology, death ray technology, thunderbolt technology. It very clearly seems that once again we have an extraterrestrial technology that the ancient people had at the ready that they could use when needed for military campaigns.
But even if the Israelites possessed some sort of advanced extraterrestrial technology, could the amplified sound of ram's horns really bring down stone walls? According to scientist and former astronaut Professor Taylor Wang, recent research into the field of physical acoustics suggests it is a distinct possibility.
Jericho wall breaking apart.
Do you want to light a candle?
It has happened.
Yes,
Caused
please.
by acoustics, caused by sound.
Alright.
I
got you.
Can I please be near me so I can like see?
Built in that wall.
I got you.
It may not be the whole wall, maybe some of the structural material.
Thank you.
When the resonance happens, amplitude gets large enough. Yes, it could destroy almost anything because what the resonance does is store enormous amount of energy. So you keep on feeding it. Eventually, it shatters everything.
When you want to know how powerful sound is, you have to realize that the basic thing that sound is a pressure wave. And it will come down to the amount of energy you put into your sound wave and whether or not that particular pressure wave you generate will couple or impact the thing you're trying to destroy. You can make it quite powerful because you can make a very high amplitude, very large pressures in the sound. It might be at a frequency or amplitude where we no longer hear it as sound, but from a physics point of view, it is still sound because it's a pressure wave in the air. So it can get quite destructive if you put enough energy into it. But you could also think of it as a particle weapon because you're moving them around. And you would just need something to focus the sound, which we know how to do. So
You can
that
set
would
it
give you a
right there.
directed energy beam with sound.
What if, as ancient astronaut theorists suggest, early civilizations had been able to harness the power of sound for destructive purposes? Could there be evidence that such technology might also have been used for a more constructive purpose? Might it help to explain the existence of mammoth stone structures whose construction has baffled modern scientists for centuries?
Did you know trading in your car at a dealer could cost you money? A recent study found consumers who trade in their car pay an average of $990 more. So don't trade in. sell it to We Buy Any Car. Learn
Don't
more
burn
and get
yourself.
your free online valuation
I
now
won't.
at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
PF Chang's are the fire and flavor behind wok cooking. Visit pfchangs.com to make a reservation or order online today. The wait is over, Whitehall. Lomax Carpet and Floors is now open, and we're rolling out the savings. Refresh your home with the East Coast's largest terra-free in-stock flooring selection. At Lomax Carpet and Floors, real flooring pros.
Mom, what is a tariff?
Aisle helpers.
I don't
See
know.
it, touch it, even snow angel it before you buy. We'll even cut and bind your custom rug while you wait. Plus, enjoy grand opening savings of 50% off store.
Oh, it's a rug
free
store.
carpet installation in just 7 days. Lomax Carpet
That
and
sells
Floors, expert guidance,
a
outlet
store
pricing,
that
and
sells
in-stock selection.
exclusively rugs.
Why would anyone keep on
Out of
living
all
this
things they
way?
could sell, they chose rugs.
Because there's nowhere else you'd rather be. Raise your bar with our delicious
that's too
energy
hot to
sustaining
pick up.
Cliff Bar.
I was gonna move it, but it's too hot.
It's not too hot to pick up.
I cannot
Pick it up
even.
by the base, the very bottom of it.
In the second millennium BC,
Like around
this
the bottom.
ancient fortress city dominated much of southern Greece. Here,
Oh,
fortifications were built in a style
let's try to
known
pick it
as
up from the
Cyclopean
top.
masonry.
No, don't do that.
Were
Jesus.
huge limestone boulders.
I
with
couldn't
their
even go
tightly
near it
together
without it getting
without the use of
unbearable.
mortar. The term Cyclopean refers to the fact that according to ancient myths, these Mycenaean fortifications were thought to be the work of a strong, one-eyed race of giants, known as the Cyclops.
When you look at Mycenaean Greece, you're confronted with an anomalous
Have you ever heard of the
civilization,
mystical
really. It is a city
animal
which people who
hellhound?
looked at it said only the Cyclops could have built this.
Oh, yeah.
The Cyclops
Is it
perhaps
cool?
not by
More of a
coincidence,
spirit.
mythical creature.
Is it a cool?
So we really are confronted with the
Scary.
fact that people are saying mankind could not
It
have
sounds
built
cool.
this. It has to have been something above or other
Yes.
than man who has constructed these walls.
Do you think I would like
But
it?
when you look at the fact that tons and tons
Possibly.
and tons of stones have been used in a way that really defies almost gravity, and I think that's why we have to say that Mycenae is definitely beyond the human capability of that specific time and that specific period in Greek history.
In Mycenaean Greece, there is what's called the treasury of Atreyu. And right in there, there's one stone
Cat,
that's been hoisted
cat,
over the
no.
entrance of that treasury. And it weighs an
It's freaking
estimated
hot.
250 tons. It is
I'm
perfect.
thirsty. We
Just
should split a black cherry
unbelievable.
soda.
Now, we would have difficulties today
At this time of night?
moving that
Yeah, I
stuff
guess
around.
not.
Now, I'm not saying that
What about
we
ginger
today
ale?
cannot do it. I'm not
Sure,
saying that.
I'll go get one.
But if we're
Okay.
struggling with our modern technology, is it really logical to suggest that our ancestors did this with pivots and with little ropes and with wooden rollers?
You look at all these ancient structures all over the world, Mayan structures, pyramids, Greek temples. You see all of these blocks that are not only enormous, it would be impossible to move them around with anything but even our best technology today.
One of the great enigmas of the megalithic buildings around the world is that in many cases they're built with such large and heavy granite or basalt stones. Even giant cranes would barely be useful to lift some of these really large stones, such as the stones at Baalbek in Lebanon, where you have just mind-bogglingly huge stones that weigh, in some cases, over 1,000 tons.
But just how could ancient man
have built such colossal structures? Were the stones really moved by beings with superhuman strength? Or might the builders have had access to an advanced, perhaps
Got the
alien
ginger ale.
technology?
Yay.
For ancient astronaut theorists, the key might be found not by studying the laws of physics, but by exploring the interdisciplinary science of acoustics and the principle of acoustic levitation.
Acoustic levitation is another way that alien civilizations may have influenced our history. And there is some evidence for that, especially when you look at some of the research that's been done in acoustic levitation here in laboratories.
This system is an acoustic positioning device. And what happens inside, we create an acoustic force field. The force field is pushing everything toward the center. And the force field can rotate, the force field can oscillate. This part is fairly light material. It's about 10 grams, no more. It's meant to be light. But if you want to move this very heavy object, a large object, which you really have to develop in conjunction with the acoustic positioning device, is the anti-gravity device. Because acoustic position device is really meant to a fine-tuning of the force field. But the system must be force-free, otherwise it won't get budged.
But is it possible that early builders had access to the kind of acoustic technology that would allow for the transportation and careful placement of megaton boulders and stone blocks? Ancient astronaut theorists believe clues can be found in the myths and tales of magic handed down throughout time.
There are many ancient legends which suggest that
$25 worth of quarters.
acoustic
I
levitation.
could have spent my time on anything else,
Local legend
but I had to do
of
this.
Stonehenge talks about is that those
If
big
you're still
stones
here,
were transported
welcome
by
to
way
the zone.
of levitation by none other
Spidey
than
zone.
Merlin the wizard.
I like spiders because they don't fall.
At the stones,
He he
and they
he.
would levitate and
He he
position
he
into
he he.
place.
He
It's
he
a
he
very
he.
fascinating story because we know
He he he
that some of
he.
these stones have been
Spidey
transported
zone.
there from as far away as 200 miles, and ancient legends are a bridge to finding what
Have a sip.
truly happened in our past.
Have a sip.
There are lots of stories of the stones being levitated, all using the power of sound. It's interesting as you read stories of magic that you see that they have to use the chanting. They have to chant certain spells, certain words, certain vibrational frequencies seem to create certain effects in the physical realm. To me, it makes complete sense that the use of a technology, say a magic wand of some kind, would be
The
some sort of
cat's just
amplifier.
watching me with a death glare.
Well, there's no way that human beings, even 100,000 of them, could pull these things. They've done experiments by putting hands around blocks. You can't get enough hands in there. You can't get 200,000 hands to lift a block. And once you roll it with all these people, how do you move it? I think the technology had to do with some kind of sound, and they were able to just come up with some anti-gravity and just move them into place.
But did ancient aliens using anti-gravity and sonic levitation technology help early humans build the ancient wonders of the world?
Well, everything is possible. We have no way to rule in or rule out aliens because human technology is very primitive at this stage. And you look at Earth has only survived 4 billion years. But there are planets billions and billions of years ahead of us. Their technology and their
Mom,
knowledge
imagine
is so far ahead
if
of us that we
some
can't
people
even
just come here to listen to your stuff.
If early
The ancient
civilizations
alien
did possess the ability to
stuff.
levitate large, solid
Like a
objects,
podcast.
might they also have possessed another,
That'd
even
be kind
greater
of fun.
ability? Might they have also mastered the power of flight?
Running a business shouldn't be a guessing game. With limited insight, it's hard to know if your marketing is working. Meet CallRail. In a few clicks, chaos becomes clarity, revealing what works, where to focus, and how to grow your business. All in one platform. Start free today at callrail.com.
Did you know trading in your car at a dealer could cost you money? A recent study found consumers who trade in their car pay an average of $990 more. So don't trade in. Sell it to We Buy Any Car. Learn more and get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Actually, I can just use my nose.
Cameron Brave will do anything to keep the optimum advantage to herself. Optimum Nutrition.
Why would anyone keep on running in this weather? Because there's nowhere else you'd rather be. Raise your bar with our delicious energy-sustaining Cliff Bar.
Flying saucers. UFOs. Mainstream historians claim sightings of these mysterious craft are mostly a 20th century phenomenon. But according to ancient astronaut theorists, unidentified flying objects have been appearing in Earth's skies for thousands of years.
Depictions of flying saucers and what seems to be some kind of ancient spacecraft go back to some of the earliest cave paintings that we know of. Scientists date these cave paintings back to 30,000 BC. And these cave paintings are in Russia, China, Africa, South America, and other areas. And they appear to be some kind of a spacecraft.
You can go back to ancient Sumerian inscriptions from Babylon, and you actually see these discs with wings around them and depictions of people flying in them. You see the same thing in Egypt, where you see round discs that have wings coming off them. What you're dealing with is most likely actually a flying saucer that's being seen up in space.
Guatemala, Central America. According to most mainstream scholars and archaeologists, the earliest human settlements in this region date back over 14,000 years. Here can be found numerous ancient artifacts, and among them is this one, the figure of a man lying inside what appears to be the shell of a turtle.
And when I asked the local archaeologists there, what is this? They said, without the flinching of an eye, well, this is, according to legend, the giant flying turtles which flew around in Guatemala. The entire body is aerodynamically fashioned. The extremities are pressed in an aerodynamic fashion against the body of this turtle. And if you look closely, it's as if there's some modern day fighter pilot glasses or goggles. This right here is from the same culture, from the same region where they created a turtle in clay. So they knew exactly what a turtle looked like. It looks like a snapping turtle. And what we have
Here, that is everything but a turtle. It's something else. In their frame of reference, they were able to use the turtle as the best example of what they might have seen that the gods used to fly around it. Halfway around the world, in 329 BC, the Greek ruler Alexander the Great planned the invasion of India. But according to ancient texts, his army was supposedly thwarted by a strange attack from the skies.
As Alexander's army was getting ready to cross the Indus and invade India, suddenly in the sky appeared these flying discs. And they began dive bombing at the war elephants that were part of Alexander's army. And what these flying discs did was cause stampedes within Alexander's own war elephants, who then ran amok throughout his army, tearing up the camps and everything. And after that, Alexander's generals met with him and they said, no, we're not going into India. This is it. We're going to turn back. And that was the end of that war campaign.
But whether in ancient times or much more recently, so-called flying saucers are often described as being unaffected by gravity or the basic laws of physics.
You know, I know that people who have seen extraterrestrial vehicles in modern times have said, how in the world could it be doing that? For example, it's moving through the sky and it's going 20,000 miles per hour and makes a right-hand turn without decelerating. That isn't possible using normal aerodynamics.
When jets have been scrambled after flying saucers, the saucers are described as suddenly turning at right angles at super speed and taking off in what seems like impossible aerobatic maneuvers. And this can be explained as the kind of technology they're using, which is gravity control. It's artificial gravity. So when you're inside of a gravitational field that you're creating yourself around your craft, the gravity of the Earth doesn't have a force on you.
But although aircraft propulsion by means of gravity manipulation is beyond the limits of current technology, many scientists claim it is theoretically possible. In Davis, California,
Nah, they won't all fit. I'm just gonna use this cotton candy.
with a recreational flying
Okay.
vehicle called the New Era.
Use this cotton candy bucket.
The New Era is very simple. It has 15 vector fans, as we call them, each one driven by its own engine. Well, one of the big advantages of this kind of round shape is that you end up with the strength in the skin of the vehicle itself, much like the shape of the needle. And that gets you a very, very strong design. This airframes you see over here next to this vehicle, which are similar to this, weigh only 75 pounds apiece, which is incredible. You got a complete airframe that's capable of lifting 1,500 pounds with a 75-pound shell.
But could the inherent design strength of a disc-shaped object be the key to overcoming the forces of gravity? And does the prevalence of flying saucer sightings suggest a connection between anti-gravity technology and extraterrestrial visitations?
Gravity is one of the most unknown forces in
cat's gonna
physics
make
today.
me snap.
And when we do
Cat's gonna
understand
make me
it,
snap.
we'll be able to find
Cat's
out
gonna
a
make
way
me
to
snap.
shield ourselves from it,
Cat's
or
gonna
to
make
provide
me
a device,
snap.
a method, electromagnetically,
Cat's gonna
with some much greater knowledge than we have
snap,
today,
snap,
will be eliminated
snap,
within the vehicle's
Snap,
operations.
snap, snap.
Although anti-gravity devices in the form of flying saucers may help to explain how extraterrestrials might be able to travel at ultra-high speeds, there is in fact another means of interplanetary transportation, and it is one that humans, and perhaps aliens, have been using for centuries. The brute force of rockets. What is out there? What helped us get here? Is something guiding us to the future? Ancient aliens. Merritt Island, Florida. The Kennedy Space Center. 6 Earth astronauts sit atop NASA's Endeavour space shuttle, headed for orbit. After countdown, 3 main engines, together with 2 solid rocket boosters, provide the thrust to lift the orbiter off
Swear
the
to God,
ground
this
for
cat.
its ascent.
I urge everyone to be part one day of a rocket launch because it is a life-altering moment. When you stand there a few miles away, you can still feel the power as that rocket takes off into space. The grumbling in your stomach, the vibrations, and you can hear the noise. And it's a truly magnificent sight and awe-inspiring.
But are manned spaceflights really a recent phenomenon? Or could our ancient ancestors have witnessed similar events?
There is no doubt that if we thoroughly investigate this planet, they will find that this planet may have already been to the moon way before we went to the moon with a man in 1969.
The interesting thing is that we have the exact same descriptions in ancient texts and also in oral traditions, where whenever those quote-unquote gods appeared, there was a lot of smoke, a lot of fire, a lot of noise, and the trembling of the ground.
When rockets are taking off, it's best to stand back or get out of the way. And that's a lot of what the ancient legends are about too. When the gods came and went, may well have been just these rockets or other aerospace vehicles landing and taking off and making a lot of smoke and noise.
But could early man really have had knowledge of rocket technology? To make their case, ancient astronaut theorists point to numerous and consistent descriptions of rockets found throughout many cultures of the ancient world.
When you're dealing with this subject and you look at the ancient literature, you have to look at it through the lens of how was it being experienced by a civilization with no foundation for understanding the science, the
Around the
technology.
world,
And so I think in
around
ancient
the
times there were people who had
world.
encounters, and however, I think the way they might have been reported would have been in metaphors, in ways that would have made sense to them.
In China, you have these stories of dragons flying through the air. They make a lot of noise and smoke comes out of them and fire, just like a rocket.
The first emperor of China descended in a fiery dragon with smoke and fire. And whenever that dragon appeared, the earth was quaking, and everyone was
My butt is
afraid
quaking.
and threw themselves to the ground. Now, of course, it wasn't a dragon in a biological nature, a living being, but it was a misinterpreted machine.
If you look at the Greek gods, they were all described as flying in on chariots of fire. Well, chariot of fire to me seems very clearly like it's some sort of rocket, probably burning its entrails as it lands somewhere in ancient Greece.
In the Old Testament, we can read about a glowing furnace that descended from the sky. And sometimes this glowing furnace is described as a chariot of fire or as the glory of the Lord. So there are all these different descriptions
which in the ancient astronaut opinion describe ancient rocketry. From 5000 to 2000 BC, southern Mesopotamia was home to the Sumerians, a highly advanced civilization considered to be among the first astronomers. Regarded as one of the oldest written stories in history, the Epic of Gilgamesh told of a man's journey to the heavens to meet the god Anu.
The Gilgamesh epic, which goes back to the Sumerian. That's a piece where the hero Gilgamesh flies over the earth. And he describes how the earth looks from above. Fascinating. An old story of the first flight.
The most ancient civilization that we have on record, the Sumerian culture, has left us evidence of what's called a Shem. And this object looks very similar to a modern-day space capsule that we place on top of a rocket. In this Shem is where priests would go into the Shem to interact with the gods, or anytime man was ascending or descending into heaven. So it's a very interesting term used from a culture dating back to 3800 BC and very clearly matches the descriptions of a modern-day rocket.
Could early man have actually possessed a surprisingly sophisticated understanding of what we now call rocket propulsion? In the 1st century AD, nearly 2,000 years before the Industrial Revolution, a Greek mathematician and engineer named Hero created a steam-powered engine he called an aeolipile.
One of the great inventors of the ancient world was the famous Hero of Alexandria. He invented all kinds of stuff. He actually invented what we would describe as a rocket-type motor. And really, something like this is the beginnings of rocket technology. And we don't know where Hero got many of his ideas, but it may well have come from aliens.
John Robert Tyndall, founder of Tyndall Vision Laboratories, demonstrates a small-scale replica of Hero's aeolipile.
Now, the conventional steam engine that we think of has pistons that give it power, but aeolipile uses these opposing jets. So it's creating thrust, and rather than thrusting like a rocket using in a linear fashion, this is causing a rotational effect. And there's your steam turbine, really, working off of thrust. Now, this is operating much as it did in the 1st century AD. This is generally considered to be the first working steam engine. It works more like a turbine than a classic steam engine with pistons. But it's very significant because it really is taking compressed gas and turning it into energy. Wow! That has a lot of energy. Steam.
The name for Hero's steam rocket engine, aeolipile, translates to the ball of Aeolus. In Greek mythology, Aeolus was the god of the winds. Is it possible that Hero drew inspiration for his invention from the stories of the gods, such as those found in Homer's The Odyssey? Or might he have had help from the gods themselves? Some have suggested that it was alien intervention, that aliens taught him how to build this machine. However, I'm leaning more towards the idea that he looked at older texts from previous generations and that the source of the idea of how to build this did come from extraterrestrials, but from way before he was alive, and he just came across those texts. But do the descriptions of rockets and otherworldly devices found in ancient texts and legends provide evidence of extraterrestrial encounters in the distant past? Perhaps the answer will be discovered in an unlikely place, in the hands of the U.S. military.
So, Jessica, is there anyone you like?
Like anyone here?
Oh my gosh, let's do Home Code Explorer.
Yes, it helps you shop, quote, and buy the right cover theme, even if it's not with us.
What do you think of this option? You look so good together.
Don't hate me. I just told him that you're interested.
Oh, you did not.
Yes, I did.
Oh, I know. Let's prank call each other.
That's not how that works, Sammy. At Burger King, you write the rules of value. You rule number 10, I mix and match my way. There's 6 tasty items, and I can get 2 for $5 or 3 for $7. That's all up to me. The $5 deal or $7 trio from Burger King Classics to Fan Favorites. Choose your deal. Hiring is a lonely business. Posting jobs everywhere, sifting through resumes, being ghosted. What if you could link with dozens of qualified candidates who are ready to work right now with just one connection? That's Express Employment Professionals. One call. Great candidates. Problem solved. One connection. The workforce you need. Express Employment Professionals.
I believe those who are curious see the world differently. At Viking, we have always been curious and quite a bit different. For over 25 years, we've been connecting the thinking person with the world. First on the great rivers, then on all 5 oceans, now on all 7 continents. We are one Viking, exploring the world in comfort.
May 2010, off the coast of California. A powerful new weapon shoots down unmanned aerial drones during secret testing carried out by the U.S. Navy. Firing from a warship at a distance of nearly 2 miles, a ray of intense laser energy burns through targets traveling at speeds of more than 300 miles per hour. But is it possible that such so-called death rays could have been used before, perhaps in ancient times?
I'm quite convinced that there have been in the past advanced civilizations on Earth that did have such things as the so-called death ray. Whether it was used as a weapon or whether it was just observed being used is a very, very open question.
In 214 BC, Greeks living in the Sicilian city of Syracuse prepared for an attack by a fleet of Roman warships. Though outnumbered by a superior military force, ancient texts suggest that Syracuse was well defended by a mysterious and powerful new weapon.
Probably the most famous ancient death ray was the one that was built by the Greek inventor Archimedes. He was able to create this giant mirror and parabolic disc and focus the sun's rays on the fleet and set these ships on fire. So here we have what would be a primitive kind of death ray that really worked.
But how could Archimedes have conceived such a formidable weapon, one far in advance of any known at the time? Researchers suggest the inventor may have drawn inspiration from Greek myths written nearly 600 years before the Battle of Syracuse. Myths that told the stories of gods that brandished cosmic weapons of incredible destructive force.
If you look in the Greek tradition, they have a very clear description of Zeus's thunderbolt, which he was able to point at people or at other things that he wanted to explode, hit the button, and what they described as lightning would come out and create a fierce and terrible explosion.
When these ancient gods, like Zeus, were to come down from the sky in this flurry of thunder and lightning and then get out of their spacecraft, they were perceived as gods. These ancient aliens had fantastic technology available to them, a technology that would have seemed like magic to our primitive ancestors.
So when these people came down from the sky and they had advanced energy weapons, they were like gods to our ancient ancestors.
It doesn't matter where you go, but the gods were always able to create thunder, create lightning in a controlled way. In ancient India, we have the gods holding the dorjes sometimes like this. And it looks as if some type of a directed energy beam comes directly out of the front to vanquish the enemy, to destroy him, to incinerate him.
But if death ray type weapons had been used in ancient times, might there be some sort of tangible proof? Perhaps there is. Here, scattered throughout the Scottish countryside, can be found numerous ancient ruins. Many appear to have been forts or other enclosures, dating back thousands of years. Remarkably, they also appear to have been subjected to fire and heat, so intense it practically turned the stone structures into glass. It's a process more scientifically known as vitrification.
Here you have these stone buildings in which an analysis of the outside comes to the conclusion that they were heated to over 1,000 degrees Celsius in temperature. Conventional fire could not have reached this heat. You needed a sustained burn at 1,000 degrees Celsius for a long period of time. Why is it that it's only these forts that have this type of charring, where they're actually glazed like pottery on the outside? Why is it that you don't see it on the stones in the surrounding area? And even more interestingly, why is it that so many of them are concentrated in this one little area in northern Scotland? I believe this is very clear evidence of death rays being used.
According to Celtic legend, there once was a god named Lugh, also known as the Shining One, the sun
Oh my
god,
god.
and the god of war. Like the Greek god Zeus, Lugh was said to wield a mighty magic spear, not unlike the thunderbolts of his Greek counterpart.
We have many stories of divinities who were powerful figures who had weapons that seemed extraordinary for their time. One was the great Celtic divinity Lugh, who had a spear that could spit fire and lightning and do great damage. It was an extraordinary weapon. We don't have a great deal of detail about it, but it clearly could dominate any situation he got into.
When battle was near, Lugh would draw out his spear, and it roared, and then flashes of fire came out of it, and it tore through the ranks of the enemy, never tired of killing and slaying. It was one amazing weapon. I mean, how else can we explain all those numerous vitrified forts where the surface of the stone is as smooth as glass? And these spots can only be found in very concentrated areas through northern Scotland.
Is it possible that what the Celtic legends are describing as Lugh is in fact an alien general or other kind of extraterrestrial leader in possession of a devastating weapon?
All these descriptions of sophisticated weaponry sounds almost like science fiction, but is it really? Because we have those weapons today. And I think it is merely a reinvention of history. That all the stuff that we have today has been around before, and that our past is not science fiction, but science fact.
Deadly laser beams, acoustic levitation, anti-gravity. Could these be technologies that were witnessed and even used by ancient civilizations? If so, were they conceived in the minds of early man? Or did they have different, perhaps otherworldly origins? Might unlocking the secrets of these inventions be the key to discovering our ancient past? Or by by rediscovering lost technology, might we clear the path to our own future and to the limitless potential of the universe beyond. Rockets, capable of destroying entire cities. Fire that burns underwater. And fighter jets that fly without pilots. Throughout history, advances in technology have led to the development of powerful weapons, each more deadly than the last. We go from attaching sharp stones to the ends of sticks, and then all of a sudden we have actual swords.
In the Mahabharata, 46 different types of weapons are described. They're using air-to-ground missiles, powerful particle beam weapons. It's astounding to read about events from centuries ago using weapons that are in use today.
But were these lethal weapons the product of human innovation? Or were they developed with help from another, more otherworldly source?
Extraterrestrials may well have given man these weapons. They want us to be able to advance and ultimately to be like them.
Millions of people around the world believe we have been visited in the past by extraterrestrial beings. What if it were true? Did ancient aliens really help to shape our history? And might they have been responsible for the development of mankind's deadliest weapons? Molten hot magma spews from beneath the ground. Lightning cracks down and bursts from the sky. And rivers of lava flow across the land. Ever since the dawn of time, our planet has been changing,
spelled you're lucky.
evolving, and ripped apart by the awesome forces of nature. And it's the harnessing of that nature that has offered mankind its most formidable challenge and greatest accomplishment.
Mankind achieving the ability to manipulate fire is probably the most historical event that ever happened. When we achieved the ability to master fire, everything changed for mankind.
But how did our ancestors learn to recreate and harness
Now we
this
got
most volatile
the
and ultimately
pennies.
essential of the Earth's elements? Was it simply a part of our intellectual
Now we got the stuff that they're not making anymore because they're too
came
easy.
from another, more otherworldly origin?
Here, have a sip of ginger
When we
ale.
look at fire, we imagine this idea that somehow our ancestors are rubbing some sticks together. Each culture always says that fire is a gift
Hey.
from the gods.
Cats.
Stop!
The Native American traditions
It's gonna
follow
slide
this.
off.
Fire was stolen from the world of life.
Stop!
In Maori legends, it's
Stop!
Stop, you.
fire from the gods. In the Greek legends, it's Prometheus stealing fire from the gods.
No, no.
That's how I dream about Jim and Daniel.
How is it that such similar myths
What
exist
was in the
about
dream?
fire being given to man by the gods?
Dude wasn't
According to
letting me
ancient
see him.
astronaut theorists, this
See
eerie
me.
similarity may
But we
actually
knew
be
we were
evidence
right
that
there.
gods, or perhaps extraterrestrial beings, really do exist. And if so, it might also reveal how mankind eventually used fire to create deadlier and more sophisticated weapons.
If we are talking about ancient aliens having an impact, where would we expect to see that impact? Are we expect to see it in metalworking? And do we actually see hard and fast evidence
of mankind making sudden
Maybe it's your like
influence
subconscious
with
mind showing you what's
We go
not
from
gonna happen
attaching
and that's
sharp
what's
stones
happening
to
in
the ends of
another
sticks.
universe.
And then all of a sudden, we have actual swords.
Do you think?
According to archaeologists, the first human work with metal weaponry began in the Bronze Age, beginning around 3300 BC in the Near East.
Most of the swords at one time were either copper or iron.
If you think about it, the ages, we started first with bronze, nickel, softer things that are easier to work with. The reason we don't have iron as our first example is because it's a much harder material. You have to get much hotter fire to be able to work with it, and it's just a tougher material to work with.
They were fighting, bashing each other with these swords. They wanted a tough sword, which means it was not always very sharp. When these people were fighting, when they're hacking each other's heads and arms off, they were ripping each other's heads and arms off with blunt pieces of metal.
6.
Approximately 1,000 years after the development of iron came another, even greater breakthrough. The invention of steel.
No one really knows when people first started making steel. Some say it only dates 1000 BC. To make a steel sword in ancient times was not an easy task. You would have to get high quality iron, and most of the time they could not get that iron mined from the earth. And meteorites were obtained, which were pure iron, which made the best steel swords. These were considered magic swords, and it was usually a guarded secret, and
I can get into
one
this
or two
groove.
steel swords. And there's tales about warlords who had one purpose in mind: to find all the steel swords that were made and take them for their army. There's no doubt that cultures that were able to obtain steel usually became masters of the world.
But where the forging of iron requires a relatively unsophisticated knowledge of metallurgy, the creation of steel is a more complex scientific process. So who or what was responsible for this incredible evolutionary innovation?
In the Book of Enoch, we see some type of interaction between celestial beings and human beings. What did they give us? They gave us steel. And the legend goes not only from the Bible and from Enoch, but it goes to Sumerian times where the gods had steel.
The making of the sword is a magical process back in the time before modern metallurgy. The ability to take natural material and make a sword out of it was considered the work of a wizard.
You mustn't look the village blacksmith in the eyes, because people are frightened of being killed by his gaze. The blacksmith isn't allowed to live in the village because of his magical powers.
Lay down while you're sleeping because you're snoring and it's annoying.
And magical process was so prevalent in the ancient world that in Greek mythology, even Zeus looked upon his son Hephaestus, the god of metallurgy, with suspicion.
Hephaestus is responsible for making armature for the gods. But the real miracle that he does is for the shield for Achilles. And it's got the whole universe on it.
What's amazing about this thing is that it's not just a static shield, it's alive. This is not something that a human being makes. This is terrifying, this is scary, and this thing will kill you just in its own kind of metaphysical beauty. And so he has this weird ability to kind of endow metal with a kind of life of its own. So Zeus is in fact very suspicious of this guy and just tries to get rid of him. So Zeus picks him up and slings him. And he just falls and falls and falls and falls and falls until he crash lands on the island of Lemnos. There is a little city on the island of Lemnos called Hephaestia. So there's a place that is named specifically after Hephaestus.
3,000 years ago,
Hephaestia was one of the most important cities in Greece. And according to the ancient stories, Hephaestus actually lived here among the people of Lemnos. The Greeks worshipped this divine blacksmith and built monuments to him. But could this mythological being have actually been present in ancient Greece? And if so, might it have been not a god, but an ancient alien visitor?
Greek mythology conceive of gods as kind of like human beings. We have lots of literature which deals with the whole range of interactions that human beings can have with gods.
It is very clearly stated that the knowledge from making swords was given directly by the gods. And those gods weren't figments of our ancestors' imagination, but they were physical beings. Is it really possible that our ancestors' ability to forge metal and make weapons was aided by extraterrestrial beings? And might stories of swords imbued with magical powers be something more than mere works of fiction? Ancient astronaut theorists believe the answer can be found half a world away, in Japan.
Goodness. 1. Remember, I don't want surgery for my Dupuytren's contracture. 2. I don't want to wait for my contracture to get worse. 3. I want a treatment with minimal downtime. 4. I want a non-surgical treatment. And 5.
And if non-surgical treatment isn't offered?
I'll get a second opinion. Let's go.
Take charge of your treatment. If you can't lay your hand flat, visit findahandspecialist.com to get started.
Yo, you beat. Read lyrics.
I'm kind of feeling this. Tienes un predicamento, Pepto. Te sobrepasaste con la comida de la abuela. Supéralo con Pepto Fast Melts. Para que puedas disfrutar los superplatos de la abuela. Cuando te sobrepases de comer, supéralo con Pepto Bismol.
8.
Oh, okay.
Love it.
Japan, 700 AD. Here, according to legend, the swordsmith Amakuni and his son Amakura sealed themselves away in their blacksmith shop in an effort to forge the perfect weapon. For 7 days and 7 nights, they prayed to the Shinto gods to guide them. 31 days later, they emerged from their isolation with a curved, single-edged sword resembling no blade ever made before.
At that time, the swords that they used were these double-edged, Chinese design, clunky, heavy, unwieldy swords. And Amakuni started reestablishing and learning everything that he knew about metallurgy, and after about a month, he finally emerged from his forge, and he had this single-edged blade with a curvature to it. Every swordsmith in the area ridiculed him. Everybody laughed at him. He thought it was ridiculous, didn't know what he was doing. That's not the way you do it. Well, the next time the emperor went off into battle,
6.
when he came back, Amakuni stood on his front porch. He He started counting the blades. 2, 10, 15, 20, 100, 200 blades. None of them were broken. And the Emperor praised him and said, "You are the greatest swordsmith ever." Ever since then, they have followed that design. But what was the secret
Hey,
behind
Mom,
What? New design?
dropping stuff. Lay down.
And what or who inspired him to deviate from the one that had
Stay
been used
awake.
for more than 1,000 years?
Stay awake.
Was he simply ahead of
Stay
his
awake.
time? Or could he really have received otherworldly guidance during the 7 days and nights he and his son prayed to the Shinto gods?
Just lay down and think.
I
History
can't.
of the Japanese sword
Be done in a second.
is a long and varied history, all the way back to mythological beliefs that Omikami, the sun goddess, gave her grandson a sword when she sent them down to rule over the earth. According to the beliefs of the samurai, higher beings called kami began human life. But in order for humans to experience the divine nature of the kami, they must undergo purification rituals, which were always performed when making a new blade. Before you even begin, you bathe yourself and you put on clean clothes. All your assistants give prayers and they solicit the help from the gods. And in fact, there are swordsmiths that will actually chant as they're hammering on the blade. Because every hammer, as it compacts the metal, is also including their chanting to it. Could the swordmaker Amakuni and his son Amakura have actually come in contact with the kami? And might these Buddhist gods have come not from a spiritual realm, but from an extraterrestrial one, as ancient astronaut theorists believe? Might alien beings have chosen Amakuni,
Now you
the
can go to
greatest
sleep.
swordmaker of his time, to hold the knowledge of this new technology?
When you give certain very powerful objects to people, you need to have extremely intelligent people to use them. And so what we find everywhere is that even if the gods had given the most extraordinary machine, including fire or any other piece of technology, you would have to have somebody able to operate it, a highly trained human being.
Another example of Amakuni's work, the Kogarasu Maru blade, the most legendary sword in Japanese history, resides in the Japanese Imperial Collection. But modern scholars and scientists have had difficulty in figuring out the secret to its amazing strength.
The famous stories are always, of course, the Japanese steel used for the samurai blades has been very hard to reproduce because some of these processes can be incredibly sensitive to the exact detail of the temperature. Some of its features are just its flexibility and the way they were able to fold it over and over, and its incredible strength and its resistance to oxidation, which is what you really need to keep something sharp.
Could the fact that modern sword makers have been unable to achieve the same quality as Amakuni's blades be further evidence that he was trained by a more advanced race of beings? And might these ancient swords have held some technology we have yet to discover? In Shingon Buddhism, the sword has a life of its own. It's not that the samurai selects the blade. Is the samurai more appropriately good enough for the blade? Does the blade choose him? Is the philosophy of Shingon Buddhism that the blade chooses its owner? Simply an example of early human tendency to project consciousness onto inanimate objects? Or might ancient swordsmiths like Amakuni really have possessed some otherworldly knowledge? A knowledge that swords, like other deadly weapons, come not from man, but from a divine or extraterrestrial origin. According to legend, one such sword may have existed in 15th century France, the sword of Joan of Arc.
When Joan of Arc was arrested and brought to what we now know of as her condemnation trial, her inquisitors were determined to get information about her sword. Her inquisitors were obsessed with finding out about her sword, and that is because Joan of Arc's sword was reputed to have legendary power, divine power. Joan claimed that her voices, her angelic voices, led her to this sword.
She said to have found it, as it was, hidden behind an altar dedicated to Saint Catherine de Fierbois. It is said that the sword itself was forged by the Archangel Saint Michael, and that whoever possessed it was invincible.
And that was certainly true when Joan wielded this sword, carried it with her into the Battle of Orleans, which was a decisive battle which allowed them to put King Charles VII on the throne of France.
Could Joan of Arc really have been given her invincible sword by extraterrestrials who had an interest in the future of France? Ancient astronaut theorists believe such a thing is not only possible, but likely. And they point to the legendary story of King Arthur as evidence of their claim.
King Arthur had two swords. The sword in the stone that showed that he was to be king is one sword.
When I hear a story about this magnificent sword that's encased in the stone with only the handle sticking out, and only King Arthur has the capability to pull it out, well then I start thinking about some type of a biometric security system, where today we now have guns that can only be fired if the handle recognizes your fingerprint. Is it possible that the sword in the stone was calibrated specifically to King Arthur's biometrics? I think yes. I know it sounds crazy.
We're merely saying that what today is being discovered is a rediscovery of what already took place thousands of years ago.
According to the stories of King Arthur, the sword that he is said to have pulled from the stone was never used in battle. His weapon was the legendary Excalibur.
The Excalibur sword came to him from the lady in the lake, where a hand came up and handed him a magical sword. And according to ancient chronicles, this sword shone with the light of 30 suns and blinded his enemies.
This sword of King Arthur was said to have radiated lightning and energy when he fought against monsters. So we have swords as magical objects, but here also is the suspicion that a misunderstood technology could exist.
Although historians still debate whether the stories of King Arthur have a basis in fact, in 1998, archaeologists found a 6th century piece of slate inscribed with his name at his reputed birthplace, Tintagel, England. But if King Arthur really existed, might the legends of his incredible swords also be true? And if so, might that suggest that extraterrestrial visitors did, in fact, provide humans with weapons not of this world? Perhaps the answer can be found in ancient Rome, and by examining a legendary battle.
Mom.
One
Mom.
a much
What?
witnessed phenomenon.
Stop snoring.
Here, in the world of Hyatt, we've got all the room you and yours need to be more here together, even the fur babies. World of Hyatt, be more here.
Two-step, then I bring it right back. No scar, got ice on the neck. 7-5 flex on the checks on that.
Rome, October 27th, 312 AD. At the Milvian Bridge on the north side of the city, deposed Emperor Constantine prepares to reclaim his throne from Maxentius. In the sky, he witnesses what he will later describe as a cross hovering above him. He interprets this vision as a sign from the Christian God. The next day, Constantine and his army bear the image of the Cairo on their shields and flags, one of the earliest cruciform symbols used by Christians. When they emerge victorious, Christianity becomes the official religion of the Roman Empire, and the world is changed forever. But was the cross-shaped object Constantine claimed to have seen in the sky really a sign from God? Or might it have been some other extraordinary force?
It looked like they were in the shape of a cross, but the shape of a cross could have been airplane-type objects because the fuselage and the wings will look like a cross to somebody who's looking up. Of course, they had no concept of these things back then.
There were other signs and portents that were seen around the same time that were described as a crucifix in the sky. If these were to appear in the sky today, we would describe them quite differently.
Is it possible that Constantine, instead of actually having seen a cross floating in the sky, actually saw a type of an extraterrestrial craft? Is it possible that Constantine won because the extraterrestrials were siding with Constantine and thus altering mankind's history forever? But according to ancient astronaut theorists, even stronger evidence exists that Emperor Constantine had a genuine alien encounter. Shortly after the Battle of Milvian Bridge, he was said to have acquired a powerful new weapon. Known as Greek fire, it was the most devastating weapon of the time, and it was said to have been given to Constantine by angels.
It was said to burn so violently and so hot, it was said that even in the greatest of rainstorms, fire would not go out. And when projected out to sea, when it sunk into the water, it would still burn on the bottom of the ocean.
Beispielsweise wurde Byzanz in one battle. Byzantium was attacked by 1,800 Persian ships. Only 15 escaped. All the others were destroyed by the so-called Greek fire. And Prince Igor, who attacked Byzantium in the year 941 AD, attacked a fleet of 1,000 ships. Only 10 ships made it home.
I'm done counting my money.
How much you got?
$155.47.
After 1,600 years.
Scientists have been trying to identify what Greek fire is for decades, if not centuries. Nobody has come up with a satisfying answer.
Mom,
the most
lay
logical
down.
answer is that it might be somehow petroleum, because it is known that petroleum continues to burn when in contact with water.
I think it has to do with phosphorus and magnesium, because when they are mixed in with water, they tend to explode.
The formula for Greek fire was not even known to most of those who used the weapon, as the delivery system required multiple people to operate it. What's interesting about Greek fire is that it only worked when all the different components worked together as one piece. Each component was operated by a different person, so if somebody was captured, they couldn't give away the quote-unquote secret of Greek fire. But each one was in serious danger. And then
Forgot about this.
one story goes that Greek
hope you enjoyed the video. I did not. It was too long and I'm tired as shit. See ya.